Hey everyone, Chad Little here, sitting in Old Boot Factory, which is our store in Fort Worth, Texas. We're in an outlet mall, an outdoor outlet mall, and it's hot outside, okay? We're inside, we're in a great store. Smells like leather. The air conditioning is working. Fingers crossed that stays that way because we're in Texas, it's summertime. So again, like I said, I am sitting in Old Boot Factory. You see boots around me, boots all over the place in here. We're a boot store. And I want to try to dispel some of the mystery that is out there in the ether, in the world, as it relates to cowboy boots and how they're supposed to fit. Now, many of you who hopefully will watch this probably understand what I'm talking about. There is some mystery to it. There is, from the time we were children, where we would go into a shoe store and the shoe salesman would get this metal device and put our feet in it and stand up and put all your weight on it, and here's what size you are, right? Well, unfortunately, over the last 30 or 40 years, there's been a homogenization of sizing, all right? Or a diluting of what the actual old charts said that we were, right? So I've always known since my foot stopped growing, a size 10 and a half. I was a size 10 and a half. If you put my foot in that Brannick device, it's a 10 and a half C, I think. I haven't done it in a while, but that's ultimately now just a starting place. It really doesn't have as much worth as it used to. Why? Again, you ship manufacturing jobs over to China. You've got all around the world, people are making shoes that are being sold here or boots that are being sold in the States. And their charts are different. And that has diluted the system. So, where you may be a 10 and a half in this certain brand of boot, you might be a 11 in another style or another brand, or you might be a 10. And it even gets worse than that depending on if they made the boots on different lasts, which is the mold that the boot is made on. So this is my mold that I designed. This is our ZB100. It's the boot. It's what we make these zipper boots on. And this last is on my size chart. Now, my size chart is based on as much of an old world chart as I could find. And you might think, well, that's too wide. Well, I took a lot of material out of here because feet just aren't as thick as some of the lasts or some of the footwear out there would suggest. So, we all have our own understanding, and unfortunately that again has diluted the system. So, like I said, I'm a 10 and a half C-ish. Well, you can't find C's anymore. You can't find A's and B's. I mean, my grandpa wore a B. I remember when I first got into trade when I was 15, there was a lot of double A's and triple A's, and no one carries that anymore. So commonly you have a D width, which is our normal width, and you have E, double E, or triple E, or EW, extra wide, or wide. You have different variations of that. Again, there is no system that is standard for the world, okay? I think in European size, I'm like 47, 46, I don't know. But I try not to think about that because I get confused. But in this cowboy boot, now this is one of my boots, right? You can see this cowboy boot is, can you see that? 10 and a half D, right? So this is a pointy toe boot. Oh, well, I can't wear pointy toe boots because they're squinch my toes. Not true. Why? Well, because a pointy toe boot like this is made on a last like this. The ball of your foot is right there. It goes across here to there. That's the ball of your foot, the widest part of your foot when it's got weight on it. Your toes end up being about right here. They never get into the point. So your toe, big toe ended up about right there, and your foot goes back down into here like this. So we have to make the mold, longer to get the point. So it's ultimately the same as a square toe, just a little bit longer. So that is, the point just goes out a little further. It makes sense? So this boot, I'm a 10.5D, and I'm gonna put this on, and we're gonna just explain here, and again, try to dispel the mystery on a good fit for a cowboy boot and why why they fit the way they do and why they need to. So this is a 10.5D, put this on. I like to stand up when I put my boots on. Okay, so you heard that, right? You heard that little bit of a pop whenever I put my foot in it. That is what you want, although that was a little too loose. It's not what I want. I've been wearing this boot about 6 months, and it has stretched out a little bit. But again, that is the point. Leather is going to stretch, right? So ultimately with a cowboy boot, from the beginning, you want it to be hard to pull on for some various reasons, but the first is what I just explained. Over time, the leather's gonna stretch out. You want that to not stretch out to where it's floppy. So you always want that, you wanna pull a little bit and then seat the foot, okay? Why? What does that even mean? You see that? It's built into the last. It's called the heel cup, right here, right there, right? So the shaft comes in like this, and you can see it here very, very easily. The shaft comes in like that, and the heel cup is there. So your foot, your heel is getting through here, and then once it hits this spot, it seats, and that's the pop that you hear. So if you can see this boot here, it gets smaller through that area. That's called the pass line, right? So your foot, the largest part of your foot, and let me show you on my foot, which is here to here, right? That has to pass through the smallest part of that shaft, or the smallest circumference of that shaft. That's what gives us the lock. That's what you want in a cowboy boot. Why? Let me show you what this is the ideal pull on of a cowboy boot that fits properly. You ready? Stand up again. Again, biggest part of the foot has to go through the smallest part, and then it hits that cup and seats. All right, here we go. You heard it. So that is a proper fit on a cowboy boot. You want the pull, you want it to be a little bit hard, and you want it to stay that way for a long time. Now, let's explain why. A cowboy boot has no laces. You can't cinch it up tight on your foot. So it also has a high heel. This heel does what? Well, gravity says your foot wants to fall off of that high heel and push down towards the toe, right? So if it was a flat shoe, like a flip-flop or a Birkenstock or just a tennis shoe, there is no height in the heel. So your foot is not falling forward. Gravity says that because it's a higher heel, my foot wants to fall a little bit down into the boot. Two things prevent that. Toe spring, right? So the floor is here. So this last has a lot of toe spring in it. That keeps the foot kind of kicked back, and it keeps it more level. But the biggest reason that your foot doesn't fall through the end of the boot, which is what you don't want, is because of that lock, right? Biggest part of the foot going through the smallest part of the shaft, that keeps your foot locked back and keeps it from falling through the end, no matter how high the heel is, all right? So the ideal cowboy boot fit, the ideal fit is for the boot to be hard to pull on in the beginning. Yes, you gotta put your fingers in the pull holes or the straps, and you gotta pull. And then it gets past the lock, into the heel seat, or into the heel cup, and your foot seats. The lock keeps the top part of your foot held back into the boot. Now, On a boot like this is a zipper boot that we make on this last. This boot doesn't have the shaft, so I don't have to pass my foot through the smallest part of the shaft because I have a zipper. I can undo this zipper, put my foot in there, zip it up, and it's locked. And because of the way this is made, it's got a much narrower shaft. I've brought the shaft all the way on top of the foot. So it naturally keeps your foot locked back. But again, there's a lot of mystery out there on how should a cowboy boot fit? How, what size am I? Well, it really doesn't matter about the size. Try them on until they do what I just showed you. It's a little hard to pull on and then seat. Now, last thing I'm gonna say is the lower the quality, the more of a bucket it's gonna be. They're not gonna have as much draft cut into the shaft as it needs to lock your foot back, no matter if it's your size or not in the length, okay? So hopefully this will help dispel a little bit of the mystery and explain why a cowboy boot should be hard to pull on, why it should seat when you get it through the pass line and past the lock, and that keeps your foot held back and allows you to wear that boot comfortably for years, okay? So hopefully we've dispelled a little bit of that myth, and that will help you choose your next boots better and properly. So, and you can choose those with us. You can go to our website, which is oldbootfactory.com, and you can pick out some boots. And if we don't have your style or your size, you can go to any, of your regular boot companies and find the boots, but use this information and choose best. So it's best to go to a store and try this. And it's just gonna be a matter of trying on as many boots as you can until you get that pop, right? And hopefully this, again, will help you do that. And if you have any more questions, just call us, you can email us, you can check out the website, and mostly just keep subscribing or keep watching, and you can subscribe down below, and you can also become a member for even more content like this that is even more involved and in depth, and learn more about cowboy boots, because cowboy boots are great. All right, so thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you soon.